How many permanents can we copy in Murders at Karlov Manor Standard with Doppelgang on just a $35 budget? Let's find out. So here is our super cheap Doppelgang deck for Murders at Karlov Manor Standard. And this deck is ridiculously cheap. 35 bucks in paper, 1 tick on Magic Online, 15 total rares and mythics on Arena. So no matter where you're going to play this deck, it's going to be super cheap and easy to put together, which is good because this deck does some hilariously sweet things. So what is the plan to this deck? Well, we're trying to win with Doppelgang, which means step 1 is we need to ramp a ton. We have a ridiculous amount of ramp in this deck because our deck doesn't really start to do cool things till we get to at least 8 mana, and the more mana the better in the world of Doppelgang. So Glimpse of Gore, Return to the Wild, Splunking, Invasion of Zendikar, Cosmium Confluence, all these cards add at least 1 and sometimes 2, or in the case of Cosmium Confluence, thanks to our cave heavy mana base, up to 3 lands to the battlefield, which just turbos us into our big play. So what are we ramping into? Well, optionally, Virtuous Strength triples the mana from our basics, which is half of our mana base. We don't need this to win the game, but our most ridiculous games involve a Virtue of Strength because what we're really ramping into is Doppelgang. So Doppelgang, probably the coolest card from Murders at Karlov Manor. Blue-green in triple X to make X copies of X target permanent. So essentially how Doppelgang works is for 5 mana, we get 1 copy of one thing. Not very good at all. For 8 mana, we get 2 copies of 2 things. That starts to get a little bit exciting, right? We're essentially paying 2 mana for each of those things. Once we get to 11 mana, we get 3 copies of 3 things. Once we get to like 14 mana, it just becomes absurd. And even better, we could get to like 30 mana, or maybe 60 mana, or even hundreds of mana. And then we just get all the copies of all the things. But for our deck, 1 Doppelgang isn't enough. The true power of the deck is we're trying to Doppelgang into Doppelgang into Doppelgang, because the trick of Doppelgang is we can use it to copy lands. So let's say we get up to like 11 mana using our ramp spells. We can Doppelgang, copy the best thing on the battlefield, and then 2 different lands. Even better if we have like Invasion of Zendikar, we can copy that a few times, but that's going to add a bunch more lands to the battlefield. And then we can use Colossal Sky Turtle or Shigeki to get back Doppelgang. The next turn we cast it again, but this time we have way more lands. So now we're up to like X5 or X6. Then we copy a bunch of lands. Now we have like 30 new lands from the second Doppelgang. Then we get back to Doppelgang and we cast it for like X10 or X20. Pretty soon we're making like 12 copies of 12 things. It's just like totally ridiculous. And then if we have Virtue out, we can just be copying literally everything on the battlefield. We can copy every land, every creature, every permanent on the battlefield, get 1,000,000 copies of each of them and use them to win the game. So that's the Doppelgang snowball. We're not just trying to Doppelgang, but we Doppelgang into bigger Doppelgangs, into bigger Doppelgangs, into bigger Doppelgangs until eventually we win the game. Otherwise, Witness Protection, Consuming Tide give us some removal, and that is Doppelgang for Murders at Karlov Manor Standard. That's our budget Magic deck for this week, and the deck's ridiculous. You're gonna love it. Let's jump into some games so you can see it in action. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Need some Magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. We've got new tokens and playmats, and you can even get the tokens signed if you want. Check them all out over at mtggoldfishmerch.com. Budget Magic time. We are trying to do some doppelganging in Standard, and yeah, we're gonna keep this. So we don't have a doppelgang, unfortunately, but we do have the ability to ramp a lot, which is what we need to make Doppelgang work. So we're gonna trust that we'll find the Doppelgang eventually. Worst case, I guess we can try to cascade into it. Let's just play an island and Invasion of Zendikar and get a couple lands. Well, I mean, if we ever find the Doppelgang, it'll be sweet. We're gonna have enough mana to make it good. Witness Protection. I'll play the Cascade land. We might start cashing these in at some point. Is our opponent playing control? Let's yeah, I mean, let's do it. We're not doing anything else, so Hidden Nursery. Into, wow, Witness Protection again. All right, that is literally the worst hit. We would have taken any other card in our deck. There's a Wandering Emperor. Yeah, we would have taken literally any card in our deck other than Witness Protection Part 3. Ambitious Farmhand. I mean, our opponent's going to have some good stuff to copy should we get to that point. Bounty. Samurai. The clock is on. We need to draw something. Oh, that's a doppelgang. 4, 8. Okay, so we play the land. I mean, we're gonna doppelgang X2. The question is, what do we hit? So we're definitely hitting Invasion of Zendikar twice. What is the second thing to copy? We can copy the Wandering Emperor. We can copy the Wandering Emperor, but then we legend roll. I think it's better just to copy the token. So get a bunch more lands. Get a couple of chump blockers. All right, so we're gonna have literally every basic land out of our deck, which is good or bad? It's good in the sense that we've done a lot of ramping. It's bad in the sense that some of our ramp spells are going to be a little dead. We'd prefer not to draw more Invasion of Zendikars. I mean, we have a lot of good draws now, right? Like, we've gotten almost all these Witness Protections. We've ramped a lot of lands out of our deck. We have several ways to get back the Doppelgang. And now we have even more lands. Pona hits us for 3. Sure, we'll take it. Down to 15. All right, gonna flip the Cathar. Well, okay, Splunking's fine. We'll play a Splunking. Consuming Tide. Now we can, all right, let's Witness Protection. And Witness Protection. Opponent double blocks, sure. So a bunch of stuff dies. Pass for now. We could Consuming Tide, but I feel like we get more value out of it in the future. Opponent makes a token. Hits us for 3. Well, Hidden Nursery. We're gonna fire that off right now. Do a little cascading. Please not. Oh my god. All right. The last Witness Protection. Well, okay. Consuming Tide. We'll keep the token Invasion of Zendikar. Splunking. Doppelgang's a pretty sweet draw here, though. And then Witness Protection the token. All right, 8, 12, 13. So we're 1 mana away. We're 1 mana away from the 15. Or, well, no, 14's perfect, right? 5, 8, 11. So we can Doppelgang for 4. I mean, we gotta do it. So Doppelgang, X4, token, Splunking, land. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, we can't. Oh, we're 1 short. Okay. Glimpse the Core to get back a Hidden Nursery. Doppelgang, X3, token, Splunking. Draw some cards, get some blockers, put a Cavernous Maw into play. I mean, eventually we'll find something to get back this Doppelgang and do it again. Well, there's a bunch of lands, and yeah, I mean, I guess we just pass for now. Okay, this is gonna get interesting. We really need like a Colossal Sky Turtle or Shigeki. I mean, we're back up to 20, which is nice. Opponent's going to, wow, big Sunfall. Okay, that's frightening. The good news is we can start cashing in all these Cascade lands, which is good. Yeah, opponent's gonna fire up the artifact. Thankfully, it's summoning sick. Put a counter on it. Let's see what we find. Splunking, well, 1, 2, 3. We actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just let's do some cascading. Let's hit Nursery. Return from the wilds. Food and human. 1, 2, 3. Splunking. I'll put a Hidden Cataract into play. And I guess we cash in another one of these. Hidden Cataract. Cascade. Well, that's a Doppelgang. That is the Doppelgang. That is what we were hoping for. Pass the turd. Pass the turd. 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Ambitious Farmhand, sure. Oh, this is where we should be able to take over this game. This is where we should see the true power of the Splunk attacks. I mean, this token is going to block fastest block of our lives. Yeah. Stay at 24. Oh, this is going to be a good turn. This is going to be a good turn. Opponent's going to flip the farmhand. We draw. Oh, God, Virtue of Strength. Virtue of Strength. Oh, that's insane. Okay, so Let's Garenberg Growth, get back a Cascade Land. Play the Cascade Land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Virtue of Strength. Tap for 27. So 5, 8, 11, 14, 17, 20, 23, 26. We can go X8. All right. So let's Doppelgang for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, what's going on? Why are we not doppelganging? Do we break? Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. We just blew Arena's braid. We blew its braid. Yes. Yes. Cavernous Maw put you into play. And there's the Sky Turtle. Oh, this one should be over now, right? Wow, we're destroying Arena. We are destroying Arena. Cavernous Maw put you into play. GG! This is the Splunking Dream. Put you into play. Oh, so good. Wait, can we play another Virtue of Strength? Oh, we can Causium Confluence. For 3 lands. Lagging like crazy. Literally no lands left in the deck. Get them all. We glimpse the core to get back one of our Cascade lands. Oh, that was spectacular. Actually, you know what? Let's just return. This is fine. Actually, let's do this properly. Well, I wish Arena wasn't so laggy. So, all right, glimpse the core. Get back a cave from our graveyard. Get back the Hidden Nursery. Arena. Arena. And then we can return to the wilds. Human and food. Our basic lands tap for a tiny bit of mana now. I'm actually curious how much they tap for. So we have 9 of the green virtues. So a single land should tap for like 1 million, right? Watch them farewell. Oh God, I would cry. We didn't even leave any. All right. Oh my goodness, I hate Farewell. Why does this card exist? I mean, we're gonna win the game. It's just not gonna be as cool as we were hoping. They also get to get rid of the graveyard. I guess if we were actually, yeah, I mean, I guess we should have left up mana to get Doppelgang back from the graveyard. I think we still end up winning this. It's just not gonna be nearly as fun as I was hoping. Because we have like 1 million Cavernous Maws, right? So I think we just win by beating down with Cavernous Maws, but it's not nearly as cool. I mean, I think we literally just win right now. 1, 2, 3. As long as we don't get auto-tabbed. 4, 5, 6, and 7. So play the Virtue Strength. Triple up that mana. So that's 6. That's 12. That's 18. So let's start mawing. I mean, we have 12 Cavernous Maws here. Just doppelgang things, just doppelgang things. Fire you up, fire you up, fire you up. Oh, this deck's so wild. Oh, Doppelgang's such a cool card. Well, we did the thing. Sadly, our opponent farewelled us. Thankfully, we got a plan for that, right? If we copy enough Cavernous Maws, we win after the farewell. Oh, could you imagine, though? Could you imagine if we untapped and, like, Sky Turtled back? We would have broke Arena. It was token limit, like, to the max with 9 Virtue of Strengths. Every land's tapping for like infinite mana. Oh, it would have been so good. I mean, that was still so good, but it would have been even more so good had that not happened. Yeah, Doppelgang, doing Doppelgang things. Farewell, not enough. What are you up to? Well, I mean, I guess we keep this. So we have a Splunking. We have literally no ramp outside of the Splunking. Opponent. White weenie. Well, Hidden Cataract. Opponent, Plains and Guardian of New Benalia. Opponent goes attacking, down to 18. Well, play the land, play the Splunking. Put a Hidden Nursery into play. Well, we'll see. Opponent, Plains. Knight Errant of Arrows. That's actually kind of good for us. That means our opponent's not just beating us down this turn. They find a Thalia, which we can answer. Opponent passes. So we will, let's Splunking. We need a Doppelgang. We're getting to the point where we need the Doppelgang. I mean, we can Sky Turtle as removal. We'd rather use it to get back a Doppelgang though. Opponent. All right, we draw a Forest. Well, put the Hidden Nursery into play. Put the play the Forest. Return to the Wilds. Get a basic. Make a human. Island. Witness Protection. The Night Errant of Eos. So we're up to sweet spot 1 for a Doppelgang, which is 8 mana. There's a Thalia. I guess that does slow it down a little bit. Coppergo Vanguard, gonna grow the Dorks. Oh, we need a sweeper, I think. Not going to be destroying that, Guardian of New Benalia. It's I think they were trying to enlist, but you can't enlist off summoning set creatures. Opponent goes attacking. We'll take 1. Down to 25. We draw a Virtue. Right now we have 3 basics. Well, I mean, Field of Ruin, Virtue of Strength. Ooh, okay. How about a Doppelgang? How about just drawing a Doppelgang? Maybe just a Doppelgang? Hopeful Initiate. I mean, worst case we can... Wow, triple Hopeful Initiate. Worst case we can start Cascading to try to find something. Consuming Tide to just like reset would be nice. Gonna tap the Vanguard. Get some scries in. Well, this is a big turn. If we can draw a Doppelgang, we pretty much just win the game. But we need to draw it soon. We don't have that much time because we are getting beaten down. We dropped to 16. We draw an Invasion of Zendikar. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spin it to win it. Hidden Nursery. Sack it. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. Invasion of Zendikar. Well, that costs us some mana, but we'll play it. Get a land. Get a land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hidden Cataract. Sack it. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. Witness Protection. We'll put that on the Coppercoat Vanguard. And then, well, Invasion of Zendikar. Get a land, get a land. Oh, this would be the greatest Doppelgang. Would triple mana from basics if we can find the Doppelgang. Well, all right. And then, oh, do we just play the Sky Turtle? I think we do. Let's just play the Sky Turtle as a blocker. We need a blocker. All right, let's see what they found. Opponent, Adeleine. Okay, attacking, attacking, attacking. They can tap the Thalia. They get a bunch of triggers. They get to scry to the bottom. Well, we'll kill the biggest, this Guardian of New Benalia. Take our beads. All right, Dag. All right, Doppelgang, Doppelgang, Doppelgang. Splunking. We can flip the Invasion of Zendikar. Splunking is a redraw. I mean, I think we just have to Cascade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, it's a lot of mana to spend on a Cascade, but what else are we gonna do? All right, we hit another Invasion of Zendikar, which is kind of free because we get all of our mana back since it's tripled. It's not winning us the game, though. Hidden Cataract. Come on. Splunking. Well, that's a redraw. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. Cavernous Maw, we'll put that into play. Well, Splunking, last card in our hand. We need to draw something, though, or we're dead. Wow, we hit the Consuming Tide. Attack the Invasion of Zendikar. Flip it. It flips into a land, so that doesn't get bounced. We will 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Consuming Tide. We'll just keep our Virtue of Strength. That was timely. Pick 'em up, pick 'em up. Splunking returns. Put the Hidden Nursery into play. Invasion of Zendikar returns. Get a couple forests. Invasion of Zendikar returns. Get our last forest. Wow, if we can find a Doppelgang. Splunking, draw a card. Splunking, draw a card. Witness protection, Adeline? All right. Well, we're not dead. We're not dead. We're definitely not dead. Oh, the opponent scoops it up. I mean, the win is good. The win is good. We'll accept the win. Oh, I wanted to doppelgang there so badly, though. 12 basics that are tripled. So that's 36, 37, 39 mana. So the thing is, like, if we could have drawn a doppelgang here, what makes it so absurd, and I hope we get to actually see this happen without an opponent scooping, is we doppelgang pretty much everything, including the Virtuous Strength, and a bunch of lands, basic lands. So our first doppelgang is going to give us hundreds and hundreds of mana, and then our second doppelgang, which we get back with the Colossal Sky Turtle, is just mind-blowingly amazing. But opponent scoop, we'll take it though, we'll take it. Whew, all right, I mean, we're gonna keep this. We got a lot of doppelgangs. We're missing any early game ramp. I mean, Virtue of Strength, if we live long enough to get it down, is ridiculous, but I assume we're gonna need to draw a blue source at some point. All right, Mosswood Dread Knight. Well, I mean, Splunking's not horrible. That is kind of a ramp spell. Glissa here would be annoying without blue mana to witness protection it. Glissa is annoying without blue mana. So we gotta try to get lucky, I guess. Splunking. Ramp. We did not get lucky. All right. Well, now Glissa gets to blow up the Splunking. I guess we can get it back. We'd rather just draw land for this Cosium Confluence. Hits us. Yeah, where's our blue mana? I mean, obviously the Cosium Confluence will find it, but we don't have that much time with our opponent curving out here on the play. Opponent, Huntsman's Redemption. Oh boy, the clock is increasing. That's a 3-3. Beseiju. Oh, Field of Ruin. I mean, I guess we just have to Confluence, right? There's not really a choice, but then we take 9 and we're, yeah, I mean, we gotta just do it. Well, cave. Actually, is there even a point to blowing this up? Not really. All right, well, cave. I think we're gonna need to hit our mass bounce. Well, get our blue mana finally. Pass the turn. It might be a little late. To the party. Gonna sack the Dread Knight to tutor up probably Sheoldred, I assume. Seems like something a dirty Golgari player would tutor up. No, Sheoldred. Imagine that. Plays the Sheoldred, of course. Goes attacking, hits us, draws a card. Well, we kind of need a top deck. All right, we dropped to 7. Invasion of Zendikar. So we can doppelgang for 2, but that's not very good here. Because of the Sheoldred and this Huntsman's Redemption, our blue sources come into play tap, so we can't even doppelgang into a land to... Are we just dead? Probably. Because this is going to give things +2/+2 and trample. So we could like copy this twice, copy Sheoldred Legends rules, Glissa. Yeah, I think our opponent's just going to be fast enough. Well, let's doppelgang. Copy and I guess copy. Legend ruling so bad here. Yeah, all right. Well, we make a couple Bs. But I don't think this actually matters. We needed like another turn of setup because this gives trample, and Death Touch trample first strike is... It's a lot of damage, and the Sheoldreds counteract each other. So, well, we cast a Doppelgang. We're still dead. We're just literally dead on board. But we did cast a Doppelgang. I mean, this hand does not have as much ramp as we'd want. This deck wants as much ramp as possible. But we do have a Doppelgang. We have the Splunking and a little bit of ramp. Oh boy, blue mana. So that does mean counter spells are a concern. Opponent, Iganja. Well, we will play an island and glimpse the core for a forest. So, Doppelgang has some sweet spots. 5 is pretty bad. Ooh, that's not bad, though. 5 is pretty bad. 8 is decent. 11 is spectacular. Okay, they hit a land, so they're playing Esper. Play the land, glimpse the core for a forest. And then Cosium Confluence for 3 caves. We will go Hidden Cataract, Cavernous Maw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We need one more mana. One more mana for the next sweet spot with a Celestis. Our opponent's definitely a control deck. Okay, so I think our plan here is we are just full-on creature land, beat down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can return to the wilds, get a human and a basic. And then we doppelgang on our cavernous maws. We pass the turn. Well, you're not going to sunfall us. You're not going to farewell us. We are going to attack you with many cavernous maws until you die. That is our game plan. Can you beat 6 cavernous maws, opponent? Oh, doppelgang's so sweet. We have so many of them that even if our opponent has like an eternal wander or something, it just doesn't matter. That's one of the upsides, I guess, of having this cavernous maw plan is it does get around the sweepers pretty well. Like, that's a lot of creature lands. Opponent, Jace the Perfected Mind. Okay, are they just gonna mill us a bunch? What are we doing? All right, so opponent mills us a bunch, sure. Well, we'll untap. I mean, we gotta go for the win, right? So, fire up a Cavernous Maw. And fire up a Cavernous Maw. And I think we should fire up maybe a Cavernous Maw here. And let's Cavernous Maw. And also Cavernous Maw. And yeah, we're gonna smack you just a little bit, control deck. Just a little off the top. Here comes the Maws, down to 4. Opponent, Celestis. I don't know how they can beat this, honestly. I'm not sure how they can beat it from here. Like, even if they Jace mill us, it doesn't beat us. Temporary lockdown gets rid of our token. Well, I mean, as much as we want to cast more doppelgangs against the control deck, I think we gotta just take the wins when we can get them. And well, that's part of what we want to do, right? Like, doppelgang on lands is kind of ridiculous. Our opponent has 3 lands. We have, I don't even know, like 20 lands because of doppelgang. And the creature lands get the job done. So maybe not the most spectacular win, but actually a pretty funny doppelgang win when you think about it. Well, I mean, we're gonna keep this. It's okay. We have a Consuming Tide for a potential reset. Splunking is nice. Glimpse the Core is a good draw. I mean, we're gonna need some blue mana eventually. I mean, we just want as much ramp as we can get. That's kind of the gimmick here. We want to ramp as hard as possible because Doppelgang really wants us to get to like 8 mana or 11 mana, and that's when it becomes very exciting. Getting to 8 or 11 mana, that can be tricky sometimes. Well, let's, I guess, do some splunking here. Hitting a land would be nice. All right, more witness protections. I don't know what they're looking at, thinking about. Opponent, mountain. Passes. Causium Confluence. I mean, that's one of our best cards once we get to it, but we're not to it yet. Let's blow up this Bivouac to get a island. I mean, I guess at some point we can Sky Turtle back a Glimpse the Core. That feels so bad, but if we can get to this Causium Confluence, then life is good. That's going to give us all the mana we need to eventually do cool things. Because we can even Sky Turtle back the Confluence, and then we just got to find the Doppelgang. Then we're going to have the mana to actually make it spectacular. Opponent blows up the Splunking. Well, there's the Doppelgang. This feels horrible, but we are going to pitch a Sky Turtle to get back a Field of Ruin. Doing it. That is some good, clean magic. Opponent. Sundown Pass. Passes. Well, we made it to our ramp finally, so we're gonna Confluence here. Triple ramp. Cave, cave, cave. Blue, and also blue. Green. All right, we're getting to where we want to be. Now, we're kind of rooting for our opponent to play something. We kind of would like something good to... Ooh. Big score. We kind of would like something good to copy. Although, honestly, just doppelganging lands, especially since... Causium Confluence. Cave, cave, cave. Blue, green, Cavernous Maw. Yeah, I guess we just passed the turn for now. So our opponent's going to start doing Arcane Bombardment stuff. Although, all right, they Lightning Helix our face. We are going to end up doppelganging this Arcane Bombardment, I think. Passes. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean, 11's a sweet spot, right? That is one of the sweet spots. So we will play a land. Is this actually good for us? Whenever you cast first instant sorcery, exile a monster sorcery from a graveyard, then copy. I don't even know if we want to copy that. That's very awkward. So the problem is, it's going to exile our Doppelgang, and we really don't want our Doppelgang to get exiled. We would prefer not, but what other choice do we have, really? We were kind of trusting that our opponent was going to play something good. I mean, exiling the other stuff is good, though, right? Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Doppelgang for 3. Arcane Bombardment. Caves. So we get a bunch of Arcane Bombardments. We pass the turn. We also get a bunch of mana, which is the most important thing, because this is what we want to set up, right? So now we can... All right, they're going to blow up an Arcane Bombardment. Get another Get Lost to blow up another Arcane Bombardment. I mean, this is pretty annoying. We don't actually have an easy way to just stop this Arcane Bombardment, or I guess a way at all. We're just gonna have to overwhelm our opponent here. Lightning Helix into even more Get Lost. All right, so we get a bunch of maps. We take 3. Opponent. Our hand is so bad for this matchup, so we draw. Splunking's not the worst. Let's play a Splunking. I mean, it's going to get blown up because that's all our opponent's been doing all day. Splunking, draw a card. Sky Turtle. Well, play Invasion of Zendikar, get a couple lands. Forest and Island. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's cash in one of these hidden nurseries. Do a little cascading. Return from the wilds. Okay, so get a land and get a food. The problem is, we just don't have anything worth copying because our opponent's playing literally a creature free. We ran into the worst matchup. Our deck is doing our thing, but our opponent is playing a creature free deck, and they've had all their Lightning Helixes on the top of their deck, which is actually going to make this make this work for them. So I'm pretty sure we lose, even though we're doing like the super cool thing, just because this is like the most hilariously bad matchup, and our opponent just with the most hilariously good running. They don't even have enough lands to play Arcane Bombardment. They had exactly enough lands to cast a big score. They've drawn every Lightning Helix. Yeah, I mean, good on you, opponent, good on you. So, I mean, I'm 99% sure that there's no way we can actually come back from this, but we're going to get a Doppelgang, because that's what we do. We're going to untap. We're going to draw an island. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So we can Doppelgang for 6. So if we Doppelgang for 6, the problem is there's just nothing worth copying. Like, that's the issue, right? And our opponent's at 36. So Cavernous Maw, land, Restoration of a Ganjo, land. All right, Doppelgang, make a million things. Oh, could you imagine if our opponent played any reasonable card? Our opponents found a way around our deck going off just by playing nothingness. They got us. They got us by doing nothing. Oh, well done, Arcane Bombardment. Well done. Pound it. I mean, we can do it again for even more now. The problem is there's still nothing worth copying. Pound it. Discards an Arcane Bombardment. Gonna get back a land. Sure. I mean, we have an absurd amount of mana. Our hand is set up very poorly for this matchup because, well... Ooh, burn down the house. Wait a sec. Wait a sec. Are they making devils? Wait, if they make devils, can we win? I mean, they gotta make devils, right? They can't not make devils. Opponent draws a card. Gets lost. We have so many maps. Gets lost. Lightning Helix to 9. Lightning Helix to 6. Devils. Passes. Okay. Discard a Witness Protection. Get back a witness protection on a devil. Haha! You are now a business devil. Discard a witness protection. Get back a witness protection on a devil. Decline. We have 12 cavernous maws. We have 50 mana and we can't win. This is depressing. So if we fired up all of these. All right, okay, one. Oh, this is gonna be tough. Are we gonna time out trying to do this? 1, 2. Hey, oh, Arena, no. We're trying. 9. Arena, no, not like this. I think we can win this. 11. Okay, Cavernous Maws. Can we win with these Cavernous Maws? If they have a 1 mana instant, it would be so sad. All right, Cavernous Maw, turn it on. 43 caves on the battlefield. Cavernous Maw, turn you on. Please don't auto-tap us, Arita. Cavernous Maw, you will also become a creature. And then remember, we have all these maps our opponent gave us too. So we can use the maps to hopefully add some counters. So turn you on. Is this gonna work? Well, maybe our plan is if our opponent doesn't play anything, we just Cavernous Maw them a ridiculous number of times. Oh, if they have a spell, this all goes bad. Hopefully, we haven't seen any 1 mana spells, right? We haven't seen any. If they have one, we get so blown out though, because then they get to cast all, I mean, we're just dead. If they had a 1 mana spell, they would have cast it, I think. Unless it's like Elspeth Smite or something that requires an attacker. Because if they cast a spell, we just die. We're so low on life. We just die to the Arcane Bombardment stuff. Is this gonna work? Are we somehow gonna win this ridiculously bad matchup? All right, Cavernous Maws. Where's the No! Oh my God, Arena is the worst, okay? Well, map. Arena just tapped our last Cavernous Maw for no reason. The slowest of slow rolls. They could have cast that at anything at any time and won the game, but instead, they sat there. Well, good to know that Arena's auto-tapper still mind-blowing illogical. Well, you can see what the deck's trying to do. Unfortunately, if this was literally any other matchup, we'd be in great shape. But our opponent didn't play anything worth copying. The Cavernous Maw plan would have worked if our opponent didn't have that slow roll Flame Blast Bolt. Interesting. Budget magic time. We are doing some more doppelganging. Doppelganging, that probably is more correct. In Murders at Karlov Manor standard. And I like this hand. Ramp and Doppelgang. And Shigeki to maybe get back Doppelgang. We'll see what our opponent's doing. See if we have time to set up. Hey, what's up, Bearby? How are you, bud? Candy Trail. Okay, sure. Sure. Well, play a land. And glimpse the core for a forest. Go. What is our opponent up to? Oh, all right. Cavern on Angel. I think we might know. Seems like there's a decent chance they're an Angel deck. Well, let's play the Maw and Invasion of Zendikar. So Doppelgang math. 5 bad, 8. That's usually where we cast our first one, although it's not the best. 11. 14, 17 plus, that's where it becomes spectacular. And remember that the first Doppelgangs can copy lands to give us more Doppelgangs. Opponent, yada. Ooh, Splunking's fine. So we need to do a little more ramping, right? We don't really, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We definitely need at least 1 more land. Like we're not gonna Doppelgang X1 here. That would be very sad. Boy. Oh, once this starts going, it's gonna be good. Well, we get to get land number 8 here. Drawing the second Doppelgang actually makes this way easier. Grab a island and make a human. So the second Doppelgang makes it a lot easier to play the first one. And then also the Shigeki makes it even easier because then we can get them both back. So these next couple turns are gonna be sweet. All right, play the Cataract and Doppelgang number 1, X2. So double copy Invasion of Zendikar, and then I think we just copy instead of a land, the Inspiring Overseer to get a couple blockers. We're gonna get 4 more lands anyway from copying Invasion of Zendikar. That's one of the sweet things about one of our ramp spells being a permanent is we can actually copy it with Doppelgang. All right, so 4 more lands. They all come into play untapped. Well, okay, Invasion of Zendikar. How about 6 more lands? We're running out of basics, which is a good place to be. And then I guess we might as well Splunk. Oh, this next stop. Oh my god, that's a third Doppelgang. Oh, our opponent does not know what has hit them. Oh, this is going to get wild. Opponent. Inspiring Overseer. Uncounterable. Don't forget the uncounterability. Opponent. Yeah, play some angels. We actually want our opponent to play better angels here. Well, that Invasion of Zendikar is not nearly as good. So, I mean, we're definitely doppelganging. Doppelgang X4. Giada Overseer. And, oh, well, actually, I don't know if we want that many Overseers. We might draw too many cards. Giada Overseer, Land. I think that's better. Let's just hit a Cataract. We might need a Cascade eventually. All right, so 8 Overseers, 4 Giadas, Legend Roll, 4 more lands for our next Doppelgang. This is a snowball, right? Like, sometimes you just get run over without doing anything. That's the cost of doppelganging. But once the snowball starts, it just keeps expanding. Because now, like, we have another doppelgang for next turn. We have even more lands. We can Sky Turtle it back. We can Shikiki back the doppelgang. And this just keeps going until we're just making hundreds of copies of everything on the battlefield. It's so cool. Oh, I love Doppelgang. It's such a sweet card. I will jam Doppelgang in like every commander deck, I think. Well, every like big mana commander deck. You do need to make a lot of mana. If you're not getting up to like 11 mana, kind of useless. We'll discard. I mean, I don't know how we lose from here. The only question is, how long does our opponent stick around? I don't think it's possible for us to lose. I guess we could get Farewelled or something, but I always got the Farewell fear. Even if we got Farewelled, I don't think it really matters. Play something good that we can copy, please. All right, so Paragon's fine. Yeah, get back that candy trail. Opponent needs their candy. Do you have any idea, opponent, what might be about to happen? Well, we will untap. How big can X be now? We have so much mana. All right, let's Doppelgang X6, I think we can go. So get the Sarah Paragon, Cavernous Maw, at this point, I think we're just going to copy a ton of lands to set up for the next time. So we're going to make, let's see, 30 new lands and get 6 Sarah Paragons. Not bad. Not a bad turn. The lands also all come into play untapped because of Splunking. I guess they come into play untapped anyway because of Doppelgang, but we do have Splunking if that is relevant. It's relevant with our ramp spells more than Doppelgang itself. All right, opponent, your go. Can you beat 6, 14, 15 Sarah Paragons? Thank you, opponent, by the way. All of this is thanks to you. The only thing from our deck is a 1/1 human. Everything else is us just Doppelgang your opponent. Oh, this is so good. It's so good. And about it, scoops it up and, well, that's Doppelgang Dream. Does not get much better than that. So what do we learn this week about Doppelgang and Murders at Karlov Manor Standard? And record-wise, the deck was kind of medium. Less than 50% win rate with this one. The good news is the deck's super cheap, so that's fine. Like, it's a $35 one-ticket deck. So the record isn't the most important thing. The most important thing is, when we win with this deck, we win in a ridiculously spectacular way. We got to see, 9 virtues on the battlefield at one point. We got to see a single Doppelgang making like 30 lands and just copying all of our opponent's stuff. The wins with this deck are so incredibly sweet that the losses aren't really all that painful. The other thing I wanted to mention about this deck is the current build. The biggest struggle, really there's 2 struggles. So one is super aggro decks can just run us over. Like if we play against mono red, especially if they're on the play, they're probably going to run us over before we get to doing big Doppelgang things. The other tough matchup is just like control decks. You run into a control deck that's playing a bunch of counters and not many good permanents. It's kind of awkward to actually be able to win with Doppelgang, although we did see like copying Cavernous Maw be like our best plan in those matchups where it's like, if you're not going to play anything worth copying, we're just going to like copy our Cavernous Maw a bunch of times and try to beat you down with all these creature lands, which did actually kind of work, but a single counter spell can really ruin Doppelgang. If we're going to dump like 14 mana into this one spell, getting it hit by a negate or a make disappear really, really hurts. But one thing I think is interesting is there might be a slightly less budget but more cave heavy version of this deck that you could like maybe improve the aggro matchup, because right now we're not really a cave deck, right? We're mostly just playing caves so we can Cosmium Confluence as a ramp spell, but if we really embrace the cave package, we could play some of the cave payoffs. We could play the cave sweeper, which would be really good against aggro. So kind of an interesting possibility of maybe making this deck like a Doppelgang cave hybrid, more so than it is today. But as it is, if you want to just do the most ridiculous things in Standard, yeah, maybe you're only going to win like 35% of the time or something, but that 35% is going to be so sweet. You're not even going to think about the other 65% when it goes poorly. So anyway, that's Doppelgang. That's been our budget magic deck for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the absurdity of Murders at Karlov Manor Standard, and I will talk to you soon. Looking for even more magic? Well, check out the video where Phil and I played 60 commons versus 60 mythics to see who would win, or maybe the one where we break down the complete history of the modern meta.